Imagine hiring the perfect nanny for your kids, someone who seems kind, capable, and trustworthy, only to discover they're hiding a secret so sinister it threatens your entire family. Welcome to Shocking Stories, where we uncover the chilling truths lurking behind the people you let into your home. Today, we're diving into a tale about a mother whose new nanny turned her Denver suburb into a nightmare, with a twist that will leave you speechless. Ever wonder who's really watching your kids? Buckle up, because this story will make you rethink who you trust. Let's dive in. Claire Thompson was a 36-year-old real estate agent living in a quiet suburb of Denver, Colorado, about 10 miles from the city's bustling downtown. She and her husband, David, a software developer, had a busy life with their two kids, Ethan, 4, and Lily, their adopted 2-year-old son. After their previous nanny moved away, Claire found Jane Wilson through a local nanny agency 5 miles away in Westminster. Jane, a 40-year-old with glowing references and a calm demeanor, seemed like a dream hire. She bonded with the kids, cooked healthy meals, and even tidied the house 200 feet from their neighbors' yards. But one evening, Ethan's innocent comment changed everything. "Mommy, Jane has a secret room," Ethan said, tugging at Claire's sleeve during dinner. Claire laughed it off, thinking it was a game, but Ethan insisted it was behind the books. Curious, Claire checked the guest room, where Jane stayed during late shifts, 20 feet from the kids' bedrooms. Behind a bookshelf, she found a loose panel revealing a small crawl space with a locked box. Inside were a hidden camera, a notebook detailing her family's finances, bank accounts, investments, and a photo of Lily as a newborn taken before his adoption. Claire's heart pounded. Was Jane spying on them? What would you do if your nanny was hiding something this creepy? Claire's heart pounded. Was Jane spying on them? What would you do if your nanny was hiding something this creepy? Claire confronted Jane the next morning, asking about the secret room. Jane smiled, claiming Ethan was imagining things, but her eyes darted nervously. Claire didn't buy it. She called her best friend Sarah, a paralegal who lived 3 miles away in Arvada. Sarah urged her to check Jane's background and remove the camera. Claire sent the camera's serial number to Sarah, who traced it to a purchase in Boulder, 20 miles north, linked to a Jane Wilson with no prior nanny record. Claire's unease grew. She searched online for Lily's adoption records, finalized through an agency in Fort Collins, 60 miles away, but found nothing unusual. Yet, Claire decided to hire a private investigator, Mark Evans, based 12 miles away in Lakewood, who specialized in fraud and missing persons. Mark ran a deep check on Jane, finding her references were forged, and her ID matched a woman reported missing in Boulder in 2022. "She's not who she says," Mark warned. Claire kept Jane on, acting normal to avoid tipping her off, but installed a security system with cameras 10 feet from her front door. One night, she caught Jane on footage sneaking into her home office, 15 feet from the living room, copying files. A text from an unknown number buzzed. "You don't know what you're protecting." Claire's hands shook. Was Jane after Lily or something else? Ever feel like the person you hired is a stranger with a dangerous plan? Let's see where Claire's search leads. You ever feel like you're living with a ticking bomb, where the person caring for your kids might be plotting against you? That's where Claire was, staring at evidence her nanny was spying, with a hidden camera and notes threatening her family's safety. A toddler's comment had unraveled a web of lies, and someone didn't want Claire digging. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're diving deeper into a Denver mystery that's only getting darker. Ready to see what Claire uncovers? because this story's about to take a heart-stopping turn. What would you do if your nanny was a threat? Claire's first step was to investigate Jane's connection to Lily. She contacted the Fort Collins Adoption Agency, 60 miles away, confirming Lily's birth mother, Amanda Reed, had relinquished him at birth, citing financial hardship. Amanda's last known address was in Boulder, matching Jane's camera purchase. Claire's stomach churned. Was Jane Amanda, Lily's biological mother? Mark, the PI, pulled Amanda's records, finding a photo from 2020. It was Jane, younger but unmistakable. Amanda had a history of petty theft and a restraining order from an ex, Brian Holt, now living 20 miles away in Longmont. Was Jane reclaiming Lily or seeking revenge? Claire searched the notebook from Jane's crawlspace, finding coded entries about transfers and leverage. One page listed Claire's bank account numbers and David's stock portfolio, worth $500,000. Another mentioned a drop in Longmont, 20 miles north. Mark traced the notebook's handwriting to a parole document signed by Amanda Reed in 2022, confirming Jane's identity. Claire's fears spiked. Jane wasn't just spying. She was planning a heist, or worse. Claire tailed Jane to a park 2 miles away, parking 150 feet back, and saw her meet Brian Holt, a wiry man with a tattooed arm. They argued, Brian handing Jane a burner phone. Claire snapped photos, her hands shaking. Mark analyzed the photos, linking Brian to a kidnapping ring busted in Boulder in 2023 with Amanda as a minor accomplice. They're planning something big, Mark said, suspecting Jane was using Lily as leverage. Claire confronted David, showing him the evidence. He was furious, wanting to fire Jane, but Mark advised keeping her close to gather proof. Claire planted a tracker in Jane's bag, syncing it to Mark's phone. The tracker showed Jane visiting a storage unit in Longmont, 20 miles away, at midnight. Claire and Mark followed, finding Jane loading a duffel bag into a van. As they left, Brian's car followed them for 5 miles, then vanished. Claire's phone buzzed. Lily's mine. Back off. Claire took the text to Detective Lisa Chen, who worked 8 miles away at Denver PD. Chen confirmed Brian's kidnapping history and opened a case on Jane, but needed hard evidence to arrest her. Claire searched Lily's adoption file again, finding a sealed letter from Amanda, warning the agency about dangerous associates. Claire's heart sank. Jane had planned this since Lily's birth. She checked her security footage, catching Jane whispering to Lily, "We'll be together soon," in the nursery, 10 feet from Claire's bedroom. Claire's blood ran cold. She needed to stop Jane before she took Lily, or worse. Ever feel like you're racing against time to save your family? Let's see what happens when Claire fights back. You ever feel like you're staring into the eyes of someone you trusted, knowing they're about to destroy everything you love? That's where Claire was, realizing her nanny was Lily's biological mother, plotting to steal him back through a kidnapping scheme. A hidden camera, coded notes, and a toddler's warning. Her family's safety hung by a thread. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're about to uncover the final twist in a tale that turned a hire into a fight for survival. Ready for the shock of a lifetime? This one's going to hit you hard. What would you do if your nanny wanted your child? Claire and Mark devised a sting, with Detective Chen planning to catch Jane and Brian in Longmont, 20 miles away. Claire kept Jane on, pretending everything was normal, while Chen monitored the tracker in Jane's bag. The tracker showed Jane returning to the storage unit, likely prepping for the kidnapping. Claire's heart pounded. She couldn't let Lily go. She and David moved Lily to Sarah's house in Arvada, 3 miles away, for safety, telling Jane he was visiting family. Jane's demeanor shifted, her smiles forced, and Claire caught her searching Lily's room, 15 feet from the nursery, at 2 a.m. on camera. Mark pulled Amanda's full history, revealing the twist. Jane wasn't just Lily's mother. She blamed Claire for stealing him through the adoption, believing Claire's wealth manipulated the agency. Amanda had tracked Claire to Denver, taking the nanny job to infiltrate her life. Brian, her ex, was the muscle, hoping to extort Claire's finances as revenge. Claire confronted Jane in the kitchen, 10 feet from the living room, showing the notebook. "Why Amanda?" she asked. Jane's face hardened. "He's my son," she spat, admitting she'd planned to take Lily and disappear, using Claire's money to start over. Claire's anger flared. She'd trusted a predator. Before Claire could call Chen, Jane grabbed a knife from the counter, lunging. Claire dodged, screaming, as David tackled Jane, pinning her until Mark burst in, 50 feet from the front door. Jane fought, shouting about justice, but Mark restrained her. Chen's team arrived, arresting Jane, but Brian was missing, last seen in Longmont. Claire and Mark raced to the storage unit, 20 miles away, finding Brian loading a van with fake IDs and cash. A late-night chase through Longmont's suburbs, spanning 2 miles, ended when Chen's team cornered Brian, who confessed to planning Lily's abduction for ransom, with Jane as the mastermind. The police searched Jane's crawl space, finding more cameras and a timeline of Claire's life, confirming her obsession. Jane was charged with attempted kidnapping and fraud, while Brian faced extortion charges. Lily's adoption was secure, but Claire and David moved 100 miles to Colorado Springs, unable to stay in Denver. The worst part? Jane's prison letters to Brian hint at other children she plans to reclaim, and Claire checks Lily's nanny cams daily, fearing another infiltrator. So, could you trust a nanny after this? This is Shocking Stories, and we're just getting started. Hit that like button if this gave you chills, and subscribe for more heart-pounding tales. Comment, would you trust a nanny after this? Share this video, because sometimes the scariest threats come from those closest to your kids.